Letting everybody in on Zoom now. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our head coach introductory press conference. Really excited to be here and excited to see all of your faces. Make sure we are going to start with some introductory statements, but make sure when we open it up to questions and answers that you guys also say your name and your outlet so that Chris Armas can get to know you guys a little bit better. So everybody on the Zoom, please feel free to use your raise your hand function, and we will get to your questions as well. But we are going to kick this thing off, and we'll start with some opening statements. And Chris Long, we'll start with you.
And it's so wonderful to be with everyone. Thank you for spending the time with us. And it's great that the rain stopped, so it's not too messy out. But thank you all. Today is a really special day for our club. When we talk about leadership, we talk about character, purpose, and alignment with our values. That is exactly what we found in Chris Armas. This organization has always been about the people, culture, and setting the standard for women's professional sports around the world. From the very beginning, Chris stood out not only for his experience, but for who he is as a person. His passion, his integrity, his high-level knowledge of the game, and his commitment to excellence makes him the right leader for this next transition for the current. This is a new and exciting chapter for our club. With Chris's leadership and the strength of our people, we are poised to continue pushing boundaries, inspiring our beloved community, and certainly shaping the future of women's sports.
Awesome, Chris. Thank you so much. Angie?
We're so excited to introduce our new head coach, Chris Armas. Chris is the perfect fit for an already strong and successful organization. He aligns seamlessly with our vision for the club, both on and off the pitch. Strong leadership is important to us. We believe in continuing to build an organization that is setting the standard, rewriting history, and raising the bar for women's sports. Chris complements the foundation that is already in place. His collaborative approach, technical expertise, and leadership style will work seamlessly with Vlatko, Ryan, and our entire staff as we continue pushing this club forward. With Chris leading the way, we're confident the future of this club is even brighter. Together, we will continue to raise expectations, compete at the highest level, and shape what's next for women's soccer here in Kansas City and beyond.
Angie, thank you.
So before anything, say that I'm excited that most of the questions now are going to be directed towards Chris, and I will be on the side. But we're very excited that we can have Chris here with us in Kansas City. Where I'm personally excited for the opportunity to work with Chris closely. His winning mindset, his expertise, his knowledge is a different level. So is his passion for this game. I believe that with the commitment that he has for the players, for development of the players, the commitment that he has to this game, I'm not that I believe. I'm confident that he's going to be a great fit for this club. He's going to be a great fit for this community. And I know that together with his leadership as well, we're going to be able to take the club to new heights. So once again, I want to welcome Chris, and I'm personally thankful for the opportunity to work with you.
Thanks. Would you like to finish it off?
Yeah. My coaches are here, and they snuck in here as I'm thinking about talking to the media, but I'm falling in love with them already. But thanks for being here, to my staff. Yeah, there's a lot there, but let me start with the room. Quickly to the media, who I'm looking forward to getting to know and working with you. I never take it lightly. I never did as a player nor a coach. That the fans make us relevant, and so do you. So the fact that you are, I know I've already heard this, that you're proud of our team, that you love our team, and that you actually help us do our job well. It's inspiring the community, and you're a big part of that, and I don't take it lightly, especially on a day like today that's important to our club. and quite honestly, for me and my family. So thanks for being here. Listen, we didn't write these speeches together, but so much of what was said, I have to almost regurgitate now. I'm sorry, but from the very first conversations, and it was with the people up here, with Waleed, and I can tell you that I was searching for something that was different, something that felt right. I wasn't desperate looking for something, but I was desperately looking for something specific. And at everything that came up early on with these conversations, I felt like there was excellence at everything that they talked about. And talk is cheap sometimes, but I knew right away that it wasn't, because it's easy to see. So the facilities, the stadium, this stuff is incredible. You look a little further and you see the passion in the fan base, from knowledge to energy, and that's something real, very different, uncommon. I thought it's not just, you got to give credit to the fan experience, so that was going on very differently. When I watched the team play, I thought, wow, what a job. Like in my dreams, they have the ball, they can score every time, and every time they lose it, they get it back. This is the type of football that I dream about these days, because I can't run anymore. But the type of football, how I see it, with intensity and verticality and pressing and forcing mistakes, wow, this excellence, I can see it, I know it. And honestly, not last, but certainly not least, was the players. When I watched the recovery runs, the goals are the easy things, but to see what was built in, I said, okay, this is getting interesting. And the more questions got asked to me, the more questions that I asked, I started feeling this is a right situation. But the thing that got me most, quite honestly, to share with you, was the people. That again, I've been in nice stadiums, and I can't wait to get going here and be part of all of this and all of you. But it was this feeling that you can't quantify and you don't measure. It's the people, it's how things are spoken to. It might be a follow-up text message from these two who are amazing. And before I even flew out, I'm like, what time is it? I woke up in a hotel in Denver, and it must have been like 2 a.m. He was in Europe, and he's texting me, hey, have a safe flight. But he's thinking about me the day that I'm going out to meet all of you. So excellence in everything they do. And I said, if they, by the end of it, I knew if they would have me, this would be the place. In one last part was Waleed and Ryan, and Ryan's in the room, and as I'm trying to size things up, I do want to thank them both for kind of giving me that glimpse of what this could be all about. I'm not sure if I mentioned Brittany and Patrick, the ownership group, but I do want to thank you guys for this amazing opportunity to be here. So.
Thank you so much. All right, we're going to open it up to questions. Friendly reminder, name and outlet as well, and make sure that you guys give the microphones back to Emery whenever you guys wrap up your question. So we will prioritize the room, and we'll start with Daniel Sperry.
I don't know if do I need to introduce myself now? Okay, I'm joking. Daniel Sperry with the Kansas City Star. Coach, this one's for you. I know you spent a lot of time in the men's game for the better part of the last decade. What was interesting to you about making the switch to the women's game, and maybe how do you see differences or lack thereof in kind of coaching either side of it?
Daniel, no, thank you. I thought I'd get asked that question, and the truth is, there's going to be things tactically, technically, physically, that I can really delve into with clarity. And I can do that maybe after preseason, 3 months, 6 months, those fine details, because then I can give a real answer for you. What I can tell you is kind of what I alluded to before. What I was looking for was so much of what I talked about. And when I saw the team play, I didn't see men, women, I saw a team that said, I can connect with that style of play. And I said, I've watched him from afar, admired him from afar, in terms of football, admired him, rooting for our national team. But I was looking for a team that played a certain way with intensity and verticality, because I don't want, the other side of it is I'm not that comfortable, and that's another style of play. So, and then it led to all the things that were important to me. And then it led to that shared vision. I coached women's soccer in college in my early years, and what I can tell you is, from that experience, it was positive. From the results were better every year, the connections that were made, implementing a style of play, that was just an amazing, positive experience. I'll draw on that experience in the women's game, and I'm sure that's going to help me in this next one. So when my phone rings more than 15 years later from my players back then on that women's team, they're saying, "Hey, coach, I got a job. I just got married." This is what was very positive. So I'm. Yeah, it's a good question, and I can talk. This is something I'll be much more comfortable with once I get going, and we can talk about. And I think I could even give a good answer for you.
You talk about the style of play fit, and I've watched you as a coach since you were with the Red Bulls. I mean, that did stick out to me, that stylistically, the high press, the verticality, the intensity with which you guys get forward and defend. How much of that did you guys talk about that? And you talked a little bit about seeing clips and stuff of the team doing that. Just did that really kind of sell you on, I don't have to come in here and try and change somebody's thought process on how I want to play soccer?
This style of play, nowadays we talk about it with principles and you hear all these things. When I was 10 years old, I played with intensity. I loved running. I loved trying to hunt the ball. Before I knew anything about a tactic, it's in my DNA. Then I got to learn that through the game and then coaching. But this style of play, and yes, I didn't just see a few clips of it. I was cutting it. I think I'm a qualified video analyst by now because I know how to do all of that, but I was analyzing. So when I met with him, I'm trying to impress him. Say, listen, in these moments, what are you thinking? What about this? We call it forechecking, the same thing. We have very similar. So no, it was not just saying, let me find the same thing, but something that I'm comfortable with. And that I can now, with him and people around me, be fuel on this fire. But I see the game with energy, intensity. I do believe that when supporters and fans come to the game, like me right now, and we want to be, well, he's the cool customer. We want to be on the edge of their seat, watching the game and, right? Look at us, urgency.
I'm not on the edge of my seat.
Oh, sorry, Chris.
For 2 years, I was on the edge of my seat.
Listen, you're going to be on the edge of your seat. But listen, I truly, to my DNA, I'm not saying it's the right way, but this is our way. So I connected with it. We're speaking the same language, and I think then it's not an act. It's who I am and who we are, and then the team, we all do it, not because the coach says so. We love it, and this is the style of play. The intensity, the verticality, the tempo, hunting, forcing mistakes, because most games are lost, not won. This is how we play.
All right, I'm going to do my best not to say your name when I address you, and I'm just going to say in the back, so you can do it yourself.
Thank you. Álvaro Álvarez from Telemundo, Kansas City. ¿Español? Puede, no mucho, algo. So, me gustaría saber, este club, so this club has been successful, but is a little bit from getting the championship, right? So, ¿qué piensa que puede aportar al equipo? ¿Cómo piensa que puede llevar a este equipo ya a lo máximo, después de haber sido exitoso la temporada pasada y temporadas anteriores?
I got a lot of that there. Creo que en toda área 1% mejor con todo. So tactics, físicamente, equipo, juntos, in all the different parts of the game. Can we get 1% better at everything we do? This idea of marginal gains. I didn't learn that Spanish word. My parents would be disappointed because they both speak Spanish. But I think this is the last step, because only one team can hold the trophy at the end of the year. So we have to get back to the playoffs in the decisive games, and the way to now lift a trophy is to prepare a team in all those little ways to do a little bit more. It's just a little bit better at everything we do.
Y si pudiera explicar en español breve, ya sé que lo digo en inglés. I know you said it on English. If you can say it in Spanish, like just a little bit. ¿Qué lo hizo venir a Kansas City? What made you come to Kansas City?
Sí, and it's sobre todo es la gente aquí, la gente, el equipo, the estilo de juego. Yes, no sé, standards. It's mejor. So, la mejor, the best, the highest standards.
It just gets easier from here. That was just a test. Much easier. All right. We just want to.
Chris, work on your Spanish.
Bueno.
You didn't warn me of this.
I know. I'm so sorry. That's on me. All right, Taylor.
Taylor Kaufman, KMBC 9. This one's for you, Coach. Just kind of wondering what you heard about the current, even while you were in the MLS, just kind of first impressions before this job was even on the table.
Yeah, listen, when I would play, he or coach in against Kansas City, Sporting, who was always driving past the stadium, and there was always little talk about, I didn't know about the facilities, but we saw the stadium and say, wow. And a lot of the staff would go exercising and running, and they would always pass the stadium. So just from this idea that they had this going on, brewing, and just in terms of the team itself, I knew that there was a team in the league. I didn't know too much about the way they played. Quite honestly, I just didn't know a lot of the finer details about the team, but that I was reminded anytime we were here in town, because I saw the colors that are now sporting here, and so not too much more than that.
And then how did kind of the opportunity come up? Did you reach out? Did they reach out to you? Just kind of how did it start and begin to unfold?
Yeah, it was Jesse Marsh was an old teammate of mine, and then we've coached together for a long time. Gave me a call one day in the off season, mid-November, and he had said, "Hey, Chris." And I went back and looked when was the date, and I had a bunch of these texts like, "Hey, got a minute? Hey, you got a minute?" I'm like, "When was that?" But Jesse had reached out, as we stay in touch all along, and said, "Hey, a friend of mine who I went to college with, Chris, and said, coaching or ownership of the team in Kansas City, the Kansas City Current. Talked to him about the club a little bit, and then it came, hey, do you know anyone who would be interested?" And Jesse said, I mentioned one name, yours. What do you think? I said, yeah, I'm interested. I'm definitely interested. What? And then bang, it happened right away. That was it. It was like, all right, let me know how it goes. And he's congratulating me now with messages, and he's really excited for the because wow, and so he's excited to see our style of play keep going, and what can we really make noise and continue to push. But that was the initial thing, and right away we exchanged messages, and we got on the Zoom immediately.
Yeah, for background, Jesse's the head coach, obviously, Canadian men's national team, and widely successful player, coach here, abroad. But I will say he had a list of people that he wanted to recommend, but he kept just saying, "This is the guy. You got to talk to him. This is the guy." And we knew exactly what we were looking for. And I swear it was like every box you could just check off. And so thankful that we're sitting here today and have this awesome opportunity to welcome Chris to the current environment.
Chris, first off, welcome to Kansas City. Matt Foster with KSHP 41. What excites you most about this current pool of players that you're about to work with? And where are some spots that you'd maybe like to add to this roster? And I guess, Vlatko, you can kind of chime in on this as well.
You want to go first or second?
Obviously, from the end of the last season until now, we haven't stopped looking to upgrade the roster. And I'm saying that in the off season, but that happens in the season. Like as an organization, we continue to look for upgrades in every position. We continue to look not just in the States, outside, everywhere. And I want to say we have a very strong roster. We have really good players on our team, and we're not just going to bring someone to be a number. It's either going to be an upgrade, or we're gonna stick with what we have. Obviously, we brought some young players that were really good in the college environment, and we're looking forward to see them be successful in our organization.
Matt, did you say? Matt, no, listen, what excited me most was the way the team played. And I knew that that's a well-coached team from this staff. But they played together. They played with intensity. They celebrated goals with dancing and joy. This has to be there, right? Pressure and stress, yes, this can creep in. It's always going to be there. However, the team, when I watched, played with this joy that we will continue doing. I saw a team pressing high. I saw a tight mid-block. All the things that I think, okay, this is really interesting. So I've said it a few times. Tenwa, 100-yard recovery run one game that I say, wow, this is interesting. I know she has scored a lot of goals, but when some of your best players are running for the team like this is something I wanted to be part of. So yeah, that was exciting to me. And also when I started looking at the roster, I saw, okay, we have some older players with experience, but I saw a young roster, and this excited me when I talked to them about the vision, and that was also about development, and I think they really meant that. So that means you got to play the young players, which they did. And at the end of the year, I got to know some of the players that were out there because they were the young parts of the roster. So the way the team played together, the way they celebrated the game, and that there's also a push with the young players. I said, yeah, this was if I could work with this group, it'd be great.
Hey, Coach, Kathleen Geyer with the 9 Sports. Obviously, you weren't coaching in the league, but having some previous experience coaching women, how much have you kind of kept an eye on the NWSL, on the growth of women's soccer in the last several years, and what has kind of excited you most about what you've seen?
I like I said, when in my last years of working, quite honestly, my days and weeks and off seasons, I'm spent watching my league, and on any free time, after I'm watching, The Bachelor with my wife or The Bachelorette, and I'm all in on it. I'm downloading a game that could help me find an edge. And so what I would say is I went to a lot of the women's soccer games at my university. Anytime, there was national televised games at home, yeah, put it on, watch it. And I watched the national teams play. I'm the biggest fan. We're servants of our national team. So I would tune in, and the biggest fan out there, as we see sometimes, is so critical of our national teams. I'm the big fan of our women's national team, our men's national team. So what I would say is every time that I have in the recent years, I'm seeing organization that there's good coaching involved. In my opinion, there's coaching. There's players that, they're top players. That as I describe a top player, male, female, like the feet can do what the brain is thinking. Technical ability, tactical acumen, physically can do all that we need to do. So this is what I've seen in the women's game. And then I downloaded 6 or 7 games that I watched. This was easy to see. It's amazing. So this was exciting for sure.
Awesome. We'll go to Mackenzie.
Mackenzie Nelson, KSHB 41. Just wanted to ask you if you could share your vision, maybe short-term, long-term goals for a team that's had a lot of success since the beginning.
Yeah, that's a good question. I would say short-term vision is, and I think the short-term is going to lead to the long-term, but I'd say that me implementing a style of play, right? My style of play together, it's not that many differences there. However, when I come in, it's the common language, certain nuances that become my style of play, how I see the game being played. And let's call that an identity. So that takes a little bit of time, but that's short term, and that's starting even next week when we sit with the team. The other big part of that is the culture piece. So style of play and, adding to the culture, just coming in and fighting for that culture of it's about the team first. It's the way we work, the way we deal with each other, the standards around here. So this idea, those two things were going to lead to the longer visions of in year one, we got to get back to those decisive games. That's called the playoffs. So where we just left off, and we left some on the table, but yeah, we're hungry to get. It was an amazing season. We'll see. Hopefully they celebrated that in many ways, but I love that the group is hungry. They're hungry, and the players. I've spoken to every single one of them already weeks ago. Everyone is hungry to deliver. So playoffs, and then in CONCACAF getting around for the Women's Club World Cup. This is something we'll have a chance towards the end of the season to finish top 2 in our group, to advance. That would be a little bit longer vision. So style of play, culture piece, I think leads to the success on the pitch.
All right, we'll go to Vahe next.
Hey, Chris, welcome again. Congratulations, Vlatko. Question really for both of you guys. I wonder if you could just describe how you've gotten to know each other through this process and how you perceive sort of the integration of your roles going forward.
So, first I can say I've known Chris for a long time. I knew of him. In fact, I was on a panel that voted for Hall of Famer. So.
Did you vote for me or against me?
Of course. I mean, you got it,
sure.
right?
It took me a long time to get in that.
Until I got on the panel.
Oh, okay.
And then you got it. So very familiar with Chris. We got to know each other through the process a lot. We went through a lot of videos. We shared a lot of thoughts. In fact, every time we spoke, it was about the game. How can we improve this team? How can we make this team better? How can we be successful, not just to win the first game of the season, but how can we be successful the rest of the season and 27 and 28 and so on? How can we develop players? Because we define success in different ways. Develop players, young players being successful in our environment, develop players for the national team, and so on. So those are the conversations that we constantly have. And I know Chris mentioned already, but we see the game very similar. And that was very important. That was important to me personally, important to the owners as well. That there's similarities, there's continuity in this process because we know we lost a game last season, but the season was remarkable. It was a historic season. So we don't want to take a step back before we move forward. We want to continue moving forward from where we at. So that's why. In the conversations that we had with Chris, we saw that we have a person that knows where we are and that understands what we do, understands how we do things, and sees little things that we can improve on and bring that to the table to help us get better going forward.
Listen, like I mentioned it earlier. From afar, I've known Vlatko and I've rooted for him, and I've appreciated the way his teams have played. First from afar with the national team, and then when I analyzed his team, I really didn't have to speak with him to know what was inside of his brain, because oftentimes, don't tell me, just show me. If you just watch the team play, I don't think the players just show up and they start doing all of that stuff. They sometimes might do certain things, but the team played a certain way, and then I start saying, okay, I see how he's seeing the game before the conversation. Then we had the conversation, and it was clear. Some of the same terminology. Some was, he might say accelerate the attack. I say build speed. Same thing, and now, right? But this was right away. We both knew that, and then when we got together and opened the computer, it was both of us were excited to show each other certain things, and this was great, honestly. And I'd say equally or probably more important, I was trying to understand who he was as a person. And then some of those little details came up with the little phone calls or a message, and that's I think spoke loudly. There's not so many interactions that you're trying to look for. And then maybe the biggest one is when I was in town here. Again, we're here watching the Final Four. We're together watching, and I watched him in the room. I mean, you know I was watching you, but I'm watching, and the way there was a couple of players, and I can see the interaction, player to coach, coach to player. And I said, yeah, listen, he's all about the culture. The players love him. This is something very, very positive. So yeah, this was how I knew him from the past just a little bit, and then in the short term, how we got to just pick up all the little cues and clues of who he is.
Danny Vahe Gregorian, Kansas City Star. I forgot to say it. Here you go.
We'll go to Jillian next. Go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Welcome to Kansas City. We're very happy for you. We're very happy you're here. I'm Jillian, by the way. I'm with the current radio broadcast. I'm going to start with you, Angie and Chris, if you don't mind. I'm curious about the search for the next candidate. You shared a little bit about your resources there, but I'm just curious, this had to be a highly coveted, highly desired position. Did you have lots of numbers coming through? How'd that look?
Pretty humbling because we had an incredible amount of inbound. While we didn't go out and hire like an executive search firm or do anything like that. I mean, the moment that the press covered it, thank you, we were blessed with a lot of really highly capable individuals, a lot of which but I want to emphasize, we started off, one of the first conversations was Chris Armas is your guy, and he never left the top of the list. So as we move forward in that process, it was crystal clear early on, but I feel like it became a no-brainer for us to make that decision. But we did run a full search, and feel good about where we are.
I might just add, if that's okay. I echo what Chris said about the number of fantastic candidates for this job internally, as well as externally. And what really set Chris apart in this is you kind of think of everything that we are building, where we are going towards. We're frankly doing something that hasn't been done in women's soccer before. If we're honest about it, we're one of the few multi-club organizations. That's something that Chris has a tremendous amount of experience with. We are the first to have a KC Current 2 team and building out an academy. And so between all of those pieces, the ability to actually find someone who shares, the mindset of how we want to play, who shares the cultural piece, who is as good of a human being as really is a litmus test for every single person that comes into our organization, that is incredibly important, and I mean especially for a head coach. We just feel really lucky to have found the areas of commonality and value that we needed, but to bring in a little expertise that doesn't conflict with what we have, but rather complements it, lays additional foundation, helps us grow even then to the next level.
And Coach, coming back your direction, everyone in this room has gotten to watch Vlatko and the way he designed this environment. You've got an all-star staff that you're inheriting, an incredible team you're inheriting. Is there anything that's like slightly intimidating? You've got the facilities, you've got the staff, the players. Is there anything that you've got some big shoes to fill? Do you feel that at all?
Yeah, I do. I was brought up from parents that no one owes you anything. You have to fight for everything you get. And my dad would say you have to earn it. He's not here anymore and wish he was. But, he taught us this. And, listen, that's what I'm prepared to do, and to earn that with the room, with my team, with the people who brought me here. And I've been on the other side of that, quite honestly, where you go in and you're taking over a team like I did in my last position. It's so much to do, a team that was struggling, let's say, as opposed to fine-tuning. And I haven't had this exact opportunity from the start, fresh at a team where things are moving so well, excellence in everything they do, winning. But I've been there as a player. Every year the next year comes, and now it's getting to the top. Be part of now staying at the top. Doesn't get easier. It's going to be tougher this upcoming year, I promise you. So teams are going to get better. Teams are going to push. Everyone has us on their calendar to come and knock us off. But the group is hungry, which made me feel like, you know what, that's good. Like a hungry group. I was, again, if a few things didn't feel right, I would have bowed out of this opportunity. But things felt right, and no, pressure equals expectations for me. You know what I'm saying? Like pressure. This is what we like we sign up for this. It's not, I tell my kids, and I'll tell the players, when you're brushing your teeth at night, you don't get the butterflies like I did today. Like, not to brush teeth, but sitting up here with a little bit of the butterflies. I embrace that. We talked about it a little bit. No, I actually like that I'm coming into excellence, and I can now just get on that train that's moving very fast. I can run fast. I'm going to be in on it, and I can push the details and find ways to 1% in almost everything we do.
Dave, go ahead.
Hey, Coach. Dave Borchert, KC Current Radio. Welcome to town. Kind of in line with Jillian's question, it's an interesting situation because the top team in any given league, the head coaching job doesn't come open all that often. So you're stepping into a situation where things have been going really well. How do you balance that, trying to keep the positive things going with, obviously, like you said, wanting to make tweaks, wanting to improve, and kind of put your stamp on things?
First, it's to recognize, take a real delve and look into everything. Training, match plans, how we present video, meetings, style of play, in possession, out of possession. You know, there's so many little areas to take a look at. That's the first thing that I'm doing now. And because things are largely in place and that we've decided, yes, I want to work with this staff. I met with every staff member. It wasn't like, hey, this is your staff. It was meet with the staff, and I did. So with them, now we look, and we know that there's more to do. It's, if you lifted the trophy, you got to lift it again. We fell a little bit short, and there's room there, and we're all hungry to go even further. So for me, the simple approach, it's a detailed approach, but it's looking at every little thing. And then, as I say, start, do, stop, do, continue to do. There's not a whole lot of stop, do, implement this. It's a lot of continue to do and add in little areas. That's as simple as it can get, and that's still a lot of work to do. It's just channeling all my energies on this fine tuner, not revamp the whole thing. And that's exciting because of this and that, right? Imagine, come on, let's build a roster. It was asked earlier, and every day we're like, what's going on with the roster? What's going on? Yeah, I'm not here to this wasn't just take a job. And yes, I want to deliver. So I said it the other day, if everyone's hungry, I'm starving. I'm looking to bite the can, because this is who I am. I want to win and win decisively in this next step. And I have some really good pieces around and up. And honestly, the best thing is that locker room. That's a good team. They play well. They're together. We have a nice team there, and that gives me a lot of confidence that we're going to do some really great things, tough things together.
Awesome. Okay, we're running a little bit tight on time, so with that, we're going to wrap it up. We're going to have some B-roll opportunities in the front of the press conference area here, and we'll have you guys take pictures with new head coach kits. Awesome.
Stand in front or behind?
What would it be better for? Better back? Okay. Do you guys have enough room?
Annie, what do we do with this?
So Angie and Chris Armas, hold one of them up, and then we'll swap it out. So we'll do one with the teal and then one with the red.
Gotcha.
He's got their shots. Great. Let's swap it out for the teal.
We didn't start with the teal.
Finish strong.
Do you have these two, Vlatko? Do you have these? Do you have kits with your name on them?
Yes.
I figured. I couldn't remember if we got those.
Tight for the people who have requested that, and Emery and Landon will escort you to one of the suites. But for now, thank you all for being here.